Well, hey, greetings. Just like that dose of crabs you got off that weekend you regret, we're back.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. Fun times. Here we are, another
Yeah.
month,
Somehow we made it.
but just don't see the time get in, honestly. But hey ho. Uh, yeah, I'll have to get my passport renewed. And they're doing that. They're now using AI on the photo booths
What the fuck?
to save your right. So basically, I'm looking straight ahead, and things tell me I'm looking up. I'm like, I'm not looking up. I'm looking there. Looking up. So I ended up having to freaking do this. So the camera, the photo came out weird. I'm like doing this, so the AI would pick up the thing and take the photograph. And then,
So
funny enough,
stupid.
because I'd already done a normal photograph like months ago,
Hmm.
and the passport office was like, nah, that's not good enough. So when I went to the booth, I realized I put this AI shit in. So the fucking idiots at the passport office don't look at it. They put it through the AI, and if the AI goes green, they accept it. They're that stupid. They don't even think anymore.
Yeah, I'm getting so fucking sick of AI. I've had to deal with like 4 different companies this last month where been stuck on hold for almost an hour just to have to go to the internet to do the chat stuff with them.
Oh, fucking hate those.
And it's like, yeah, I'm just canceling all these fucking services. This is so goddamn stupid. Like, I know somebody's getting paid for this. Like, why can't you just pay a worker? Like, I don't want to talk to your fucking robot.
Yeah, and they say about being respectful, but what they don't realize is by the time you jump through all them hoops before getting to the actually talking to somebody, you're already pissed off. It just winds you
Hmm.
up.
Oh yeah,
So they deliberately wind you up before you even get to speak to someone, and then wonder why you're ratty. It's like, just
yeah,
put me through to someone so I can explain what the hell the problem is. Don't start the fucking see that cheat sheet that I have just so that can't train people like the employee basically tickles to read off a script.
hmm,
It's like, let me at least have a conversation with someone that I'm buying the service for. Internet and phone are the worst.
yeah,
Fucking hate them. I do. They just drive me up the wall. And yeah, they start going through their script, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, nah. Even the company I bought my computer off, I emailed them to basically find out about the motherboard information, see what upgrades I can do.
hmm,
Here's the order number. I don't know. Loads of things. Generic or something like. Did you not have the specs when you sent me out the thing? Like, so you can call it up? Is there not like, oh, it cracks me up. It's like basic admin of
right. Yeah,
tie
it's
everything together. Then you don't have
fucking
dramas.
dumb.
And then you just lost a customer because I'm not banned from you because you're a bunch of twats.
Right.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they make it so fucking difficult. Like, I'm dealing with that right now with I canceled my internet provider because they fucking suck, and got something that's twice as fast for half the price that doesn't fucking suck. And I'm trying to get a refund because they immediately sent me on a letter saying, "Oh yeah, you overpaid your account." I was like, "No, I paid what was on the account. You guys fucked up." And did everything they said to get the refund, and then got an email like 2 days later saying that it was denied. And it took an hour and a half to get through to somebody to finally find out, "Oh yeah, you'll get it in like 2 weeks." It's like, what the fuck? It was supposed to be given to me in 3 days. "Oh yeah, it's whatever."
Yeah, they don't give it
Like, yeah,
to
fuck
us.
you.
And then you'll get the nice customer service person will ring you like a month later. Oh, why on earth did you leave? The hire the one with the friendly voice from your local area, so
Mm,
you can speak to them, and they're all like, "Oh, shock, that's terrible." I'm like, piss off. Do you know what?
right.
If you do the job right, you wouldn't have a job because you wouldn't be needed. You'd hit,
Mhm.
and yeah, it just cracks me up. But anyway,
Oh, yeah.
channel's going well, so that's important.
Yeah,
Some
we're
silver
here, so
linings.
that's something.
We're cracking on and busy and yeah, actually fun stream next. I'm looking forward to it now. Another person aboard the Freddy Krueger stream is going to be immense. Like panels just getting bigger and bigger. People getting
Nice.
excited for it. God, what else we got? Submissions are still open for the anthology. So people aren't getting bored with that. 1st of December it closes. So sign up the email list. You'll see the posts anyway. Check out our socials. It's all there. The details, payments, etc. Looking forward to that too. That'll be a cool one for the new year.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm thinking next year, 2025, might be a time to dip my toe into the old convention thing. I don't know.
They could be fun, man. They can be a lot of fun.
People, set up a table, some
Mhm.
wares, business cards, publications, merch, just press the flesh, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
Don't know. That's a thought for the new year. If I don't know, it depends on how he's running and logistics, etc. And if it's worth doing, but that'll be just an extra element to the show.
Yeah.
Maybe do a few streams from it.
Yeah, it'd be good.
But anyway, talking of people needing work and crying out for a job, remember this guy?
Yep, he is definitely a person.
Yep. This just cries out to me. I need a job.
I mean, he does work pretty steady, but yeah, that's just it's like no, we all watched you die. Like I've never really gotten into those movies because well, they suck. But I remember watching him die in the first one.
Pretty conclusive. Big kitchen knife will do that.
Mhm.
Sort you right out. And last time I checked, this wasn't a supernatural series. But at this point, I don't know. I feel sorry for Scream fans. I really do. Like, still loving this franchise. It's a mess. And after, God, well, I'd given up after the second one, but I don't know, like the third or fourth one or something, like it just started getting off the rails because they ran out of plot. They just started doing the let's throw any shit at the wall, see what sticks. But yeah,
Yeah, I never bothered. I couldn't stand the
no,
first
I've
one.
never, like I said, I've only ever watched the actual second movie and I forgot it before I left the cinema.
Mm.
I just, walked out and go, what did I watch? What was that about? I don't care. And that was it. That was me finished with the Scream franchise. Never bothered about it again. But recently, it's like this new generation of knuckleheads. Young people think it's their franchise, even though it's been around longer than it being alive.
Mm. Right.
And they're doing the usual boring, militant, it's our franchise. Blah, blah. It's like, all right, but go away. We'll fight you, fight me. That sort of silly shit. It's like, you couldn't fight your way out of a wet paper bag. Fuck off. But yeah, Matthew Lillard, probably best known for his role as Stu Matcher. Is it Matcher or Macker?
I have no fucking
I
clue.
don't care.
Yeah, I give a shit less.
The first Scream movie. God, there's another pointless person. Neve Campbell. I do not like her.
Mm-mm.
I don't like her in film. I don't like her. Like the odd time I've seen her speaking outside, she is a wooden plank. Like there's nothing there. Like the lights are on, nobody's home. Like it's just that vacant, tell me what to think look in her face all the time. What's the popular
Yeah, she's
trending
like the
thing?
perfect actor.
Pretty much. Meat bag. Listen, Stu is definitely alive. Yeah, okay. They would probably write that in. They're that desperate at the moment. They would probably write that crap in, wouldn't they?
Yeah, probably. And it's like this is the kind of shit that drives me insane where there's no news, so people will take just something some dumbass says and run with it. Just like it was like a couple years ago, Daniel Harris was on a board or a panel and was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna be making Hatchet 5 soon." And it's like, no, you guys aren't. You're just saying that because you got nothing else going on and you want to seem important.
If you say it, it'll happen, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Oh man. It's like they've twigged onto social media. We can get things trending and it'll happen. But I think because a lot of the money people have been burned so badly because of that, they're not listening anymore. I mean, the pendulum's slowly swinging the other way, where a social media trend now means nothing
Mm-hmm.
because it just takes one basement dwelling virgin and 50 sock puppet accounts to start something, and that's all they do all their life, and it's not actually real people. The people that will post on social media aren't the people that will put their hand in their pockets because they're posting on social media all the time, which means they don't have any constructive earnings or employment because they're wasters. So they can't afford to go to the cinema. They can't afford to actually support the project because it's my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, obviously Matthew Lillard wants a job, or they've twisted this that he made a joke, and they're like,
It's
"Oh,
like
it
I
can
don't
happen."
get it either because it's like he's coming back for the second Five Nights at Freddy's, and it's like, dude, that's a franchise that's way better. Just
That's
run with
something.
that.
Even Scooby Doo movies, like you say, he's best known for that. I think he's his best role's been
I
Shaggy.
mean, I was gonna say his best role, in my opinion, is of course biased, but SLC Punk was the greatest role he's ever had. Now, was he perfect as Shaggy? Absolutely. And is it still a travesty that they fucking shit cam him and everybody else that was perfect for that show? Absolutely. But yeah, no, my vote's always for SLC Punk.
Don't remember that one. What's that about?
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I mean, it's about him and a homie growing up as punk rockers in Salt Lake, and the wacky antics ensue.
All right. Punk rockers. There you go. That. So yeah, Stu Macker was one of the two original Ghostface killers in the Wes Craven directed movie. Yeah, 'cause that was a twist they did not milk to death. How
Mhm.
many Ghostface killers are there now? It's like anyone sticks on a mask and they become Ghostface.
Yeah,
I just gave up. Honestly, it was just the second movie really. The first one was all right as a standalone. Wes Craven. I don't like the meta shit anyway. It just grates on me.
see, I'm okay with it when it's done right. Like New Nightmare, I fucking love, and I'll defend New Nightmare with my dying breath, but this was just annoying, like with the kind of meta that was.
Yeah, it's and that's bro dude talk. Don't know if that's what you call it. That sort of 2000s American. Yeah, man. That just cracks me
Yeah,
up.
that no one actually talked like ever.
Yeah,
That's
I
fucking
just
annoying.
can't. I just can't do that. I can't listen to that.
Yeah.
And that was the whole way through this. And yeah, I don't think I've ever rewatched this. I think I watched it once. I watched the second one once, and that was it. That was way back in the 90s. It wasn't cool to not like it or to like it because there wasn't social media back then. So you just liked it or didn't like whatever you
Mhm.
wanted.
Yeah, I miss
And that
those
was it.
days.
End of story. And I love the Wishmaster series, and that's cheese balls.
Mhm,
That's utter cheese on like 3 layers of cheese on a stick.
mhm.
And I love that. And I love Wes Craven. But this was just like, no, we do, man.
Yeah,
Don't
see,
do that.
that's the thing, like, I have this, discussion, quite often, surprisingly enough, but it's like Wes Craven, like, I respect the man. I mean, he, uh, gave us some of our best nightmares, but he is definitely somebody that's hit or miss. It's like either you're gonna love what he puts out or you're gonna absolutely hate it, and, yeah, I gotta say I hate more than I love,
Hmm.
specifically because of Scream.
Well, that's but also it became a different bit. Like even after he passed, it carried on, and it became this monster. Like I said, it just
Mhm.
this new generation latched onto it as if it was something brand new because they're thick and they can't read and they don't know history, and they all picked up their burning torches and pitchforks. "Rah, we're Scream fans. If you like Scream fan, you're not into horror. Rah! And you're like, fucking, I'll never love it now. I'll despise the franchise that it finally burns to the ground.
It's just
Yeah,
boring to me.
when you have to put more effort into like calling people names and stuff and rah 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 to make your point about why you like a franchise, rather than actually just going, "Oh, this bit, that bit," because most of them do. They stumble and stutter when it comes to actually explaining why this is a good franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And they think if they can gang up on you, that's their way to explain to you, that that's a good franchise. It's like, nah. And you can't make someone excited about something if somebody's not excited about something. All the hate comments and bullying and, "Oh, you're not cool. You can't be in our gang if you don't like it." Well, fine. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, Campbell's returning because woohoo. She got her pay deal. Like, all that dirty laundry did not need to be aired. But there you go. Are you excited?
Oh yeah. So excited. I've never even actually sit through the first movie like all the way through in one sitting.
I've seen
That's
it
just
once. Like, I've never revisited. I've never felt
I've
the need to go back.
I tried to watch it I think like 3 times. And then the second one twice. It's just I can't it's just not good. Like at all. It just drives me insane. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
So there you go. That was a thing. Matthew Lillard needs work or something, or
Mhm.
they need Matthew Lillard, or yeah, it's just a
I
normal.
mean, that's all it is. They're bringing people back because no one gives a fuck.
And the thing
So it's
is,
like, "Oh, let's, bust out a batch of member berries and that'll bring people back."
nah, because it didn't bring people back when it. I don't know, man. Late 90s, early 2000s were a strange time in film.
Mhm.
It was, and there's sort of normie, generic franchises that's like Chris and I revisited the Final Destination. First two great, and then after it kind of goes, oh god, what are you doing?
See, I don't know.
What are you doing?
I give, that franchise a pass because, like, you're just there to just watch people die in weird ways, and they deliver on that.
Yeah, but the
Like, I can
deliver from the third one onwards in CGI, which is just like, oh, stop doing that, please.
I don't care. It's those are movies that if they're on, regardless of which one it is, I'm gonna probably watch it all the way through. I mean, that was my Friday night.
Fair enough. There you go. That was the thing. Sorry, folks. It's a slow news week. What can I say?
Yeah, it's almost like we're finally hitting the repercussions of the writer's strike.
Oh dear, but that was just a noble.
I mean, it was, but the way it was done, like the whole fucking SAG exclusions or exceptions, that shit was so fucking stupid.
It's because they're all dickheads. You know what I mean? They can't take anybody's side. They're all dickheads. So fuck them.
Yeah.
We're using ChatGPT, but you don't use it to fire us. Sorry, when we use it to like grift at our job, but don't you use it? Okay. Stop turning out shite and I'll have sympathy for you, but yeah. Anyway, we've also I can't believe this has taken so long to get off the ground. Especially
Oh, I can.
with Blumhouse. They're usually quite decent at getting this stuff out. But yeah, Black Phone 2, Derrickson's described it as a coming of age film. Well, yeah, because the freaking child actors are what in their 30s now? You freaking dragging their heels up long. 2021. Like,
Yeah.
when a movie makes 160 million on a 16 million budget, you're making that sequel.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this because it's like, did this even need a sequel?
No, it didn't. But studios are studios, and
Yeah.
if they can, rather than another 5 reboots, the odd shitty sequel, I don't mind. Do you know what I mean that was a rite of passage as well? You collected the DVD sequels just to have
Mhm.
them, and never watched half of them. That was always a thing, and you never minded.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're really dragging their heels over this, aren't they? And you think the amount of crap they shite out on a yearly basis that we don't want to see. Oh, there's an American Psycho reboot coming.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, we're getting an American Psycho reboot.
Oh, exciting.
Yay. So give me a Black Phone sequel because I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go see it, but
Obviously, the grabber escaped. We
yeah,
didn't see him die.
that is true.
Unlike Stu out of Scream, who will watch the fucking carving knife like disembowel him. But anyway, we didn't see the grabber get killed, so there's every chance he escaped through an extra tunnel. That's feasible. He goes away to lick his wounds and then decides he wants revenge. Seems pretty straightforward to me. I can wrap my head around that.
Mm.
He can't do it straight away because obviously all this is blown up. When you think of the end of the first movie, like everything was discovered. So yeah, there'd be, and the fact that he isn't there anymore, there'd be like nationwide manhunt, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see it being, set in a couple of years. It's just I don't get why it's taking them so long, especially Blumhouse. Think of the amount of movies they just churn out.
Well, I mean,
Like,
that could be the reason why. Like they have to add it into the queue.
But yeah, we reviewed that, didn't we, together?
Probably. I don't honestly remember.
I think we did.
Yeah, I
But
mean it was fun. I liked it. I still don't like the mask. I think the mask is stupid as fuck, but the movie was good. Ethan Hawke was fucking creepy as hell.
Yeah. And the whole premise, the ghosts and you're actually getting in the mind, like he needs you to play naughty boy and stuff, just the mind of a serial killer, what they need to happen to justify in their heads what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Like we were getting a wee bit of an insight in that, and it was disturbing. And that wee girl that played the younger sister, she was amazing.
Yeah.
Some of her lines, like screw you, Jesus. That fight, actually, we did talk about this. Like the schoolyard fight where just picking up a brick, and going to town, and then still gets good dig in the face, proper fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was visceral. I enjoyed it because it was real.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently Joe Hill's happy with it too. So that's always good when the creator, the author's happy with the sequel.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and that's haven't been screwed out of film rights or something dodgy going on. If they're actually people are on board, you have a feeling that you're going to get a better product. But our sequel is needed not. Like I said, I can see how they can do a sequel. I don't know how they're going to bring in the supernatural element though. That's my thing.
I mean,
because the 5 ghosts from the original one, obviously they were found. They've been led the rest, you would think. So that's what sets us apart. I'm just spitballing here while we're sitting,
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's easy enough to explain away. I mean, he could just have like another fucking place that he does this at. So have a whole new set of ghosts. But
then it would be, they're not going to have him kidnapped again and Finney, sorry, kidnapped again and put in. That would be shit. And having the younger sister kidnapped and put in and just replaying the whole thing, that would be shit.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the trick, isn't it? Like I can see how the story can move forward. Grabber didn't get caught. The whole manhunt has to go underground. Meanwhile, they're moving on with their lives. So I can understand the Grabber coming back to try and get retribution.
Mm-hmm.
Where I can't see it working is the supernatural element without it being contrived.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited though. Like,
I
don't know. It's like I really I don't know. It's hard because it's like there's not really shit coming out. So it's like I guess I have to get excited for anything that was half decent.
Yeah, we're having a shit year ahead of us. Just suck it up. We know what it's going to be like. It's not been it's been a mixed year. Been loads coming out, some hits, a lot of misses.
Mm-hmm.
Next year not looking any better. When you think that projects have been put back to 2026, even, just because, once again, idiots, just morons, civil service type people running entertainment who should have no business being there. And this is what happens. It's just the long march to the end of this road where it's going to obviously grind and collapse. I'm starting to focus more on indie projects because at least people are trying. At least this will be the opportunity, like I've always said, is to start pushing away from Hollywood and get people use the idea that you can get a small budget movie made. And if people have heart and want to actually tell a good story, it'll resonate with you. Doesn't have to be $400 million CGI A-list actors for you to enjoy a movie. There you go. So Derrickson and Cargill, they have been sort of mulling it over. They didn't I suppose they didn't jump ahead straight away. They wanted to think about it. Haven't heard from Derrickson in a while either. Last thing he did was one of them superhero ones, wasn't it?
I have no idea.
Didn't he do one of them Marvel things or he took over from Raimi? Or no, Raimi took over from him. No, he started it and then he left it. Did he do a superhero one?
Your guess is as good as mine. I have no clue.
Right, well, he did that and...
Trying to look it up right now to see. Oh, yeah, he did the first Doctor Strange. That's right.
But didn't he... That was the second one, wasn't it?
No.
He started...
I mean,
he started, then he left production, and then Raimi took over.
I don't feel like that... Let's see.
I know there's a bit of kerfuffle about it. I haven't seen
it. Yeah. That's what happened.
Yeah, he started work on the second
one.
And something because happened.
Of him, yeah, he basically left, and then that's when he focused on the Black Phone.
But I haven't really heard much of him. He hasn't put out a lot of stuff. No, apart from Sinister, Black Phone. What else has he done?
So Urban Legends, Final Cut, Hellraiser Inferno, Land of Plenty, Exorcism of Emily Rose, Day the Earth Stood Still, Sinister, Devil's Knot, Delivers from Evil, Second Sinister, Doctor Strange, Black Phone, and then upcoming The Gorge.
Oh God, yes, that's the one that's set in a strange country with two. I've covered that. So basically, it's two snipers from different countries looking across. They're basically guarding this gorge in case something comes out of it. Seems like a just good monster movie. Unless it's hard. Yeah, if the monster looks good and they use it well, it'll be a good movie. If the monster looks terrible, it's going to be shit.
Yeah, or that's the hard thing, is like it could look good, and if it's not utilized properly, that shit gets rough.
Yeah, but it seems like it's a character piece to like two characters and dread and stuff. So Derrickson's good at that, though. Like that's what I really liked about the first Sinister movie.
I didn't think I'd like Sinister, and then I got bored one night, and it was one of my insomniac nights, and I just watched it like 3 a.m. I was like, oh, this is okay.
Sequel, not so much.
Yeah, the sequel was I didn't hate it, but I don't think I'll revisit it. First one though, yeah, first one was great.
Yeah. So he's good at that sort of stuff, and he did a good job with Black Phone. Like the atmosphere, like in the characterization. So he's got a good eye on him. He doesn't seem to do like tons of stuff, or he's not in the zeitgeist all the time. And he's definitely not tied in too much with Blumhouse. He seems to do them and some of his own stuff, so it's... don't know, he's an interesting one. If they can figure out the supernatural element, which if they don't include it in the second movie, then it's not a Black Phone movie. So if they get the supernatural element right, that's the only bit that I'm wrapping my head around, going, how are they going to fit that in without it being just a, rehash of the first movie.
Yeah.
Because everything else is sort of set up with us that it can happen. There you go. Fun times ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. We really need to get more Joe Hill adaptations. Like I don't understand why more of his shit hasn't been done. Because I mean, he is a very similar writer to his father, and I mean, got plenty of those adaptations.
Yeah, who knows? I enjoyed Horns. Like, that was another good one. Many movies has he had adapted? Not very many at all.
Yeah, it's like Horns, and then Nosferatu was the TV series, which that's still a travesty that they didn't renew it for a third season. Let's see. It's mostly been television because the other would be Lock and Key.
Was that a lot more of a? I
Yep.
was going to watch that, but it looked like more of one of them young adult sort of teen dramas, as opposed to horror.
No, it's. I mean, it's more fantasy than horror, but I mean, it's still got that horror element. Like so the thing is, it's a lot like. Did you ever watch Nosferatu?
No,
Okay,
not the
well,
TV
change
series.
that. Nosferatu was fucking fantastic. But the hard part with it was you have to get over the bias of this is not the book. After you get past that, it's fucking fantastic. And that's how Lock and Key was. Like the final season, I wasn't huge on because I felt like it wasn't necessary. But yeah, first couple seasons of Lock and Key was pretty damn good. Like they didn't stick super faithfully to the comics, but pretty fucking close.
Mm-hmm. You know me on TV. It takes a lot for me to actually sit down for a TV series because 90% of them are absolute crap, and I don't I don't want to waste my time.
Yeah, man.
So it takes a lot to actually rope me into a TV series because I'm like, yeah, no, do I want to? Nah, I'm good. I can live without it.
I mean, it's fun. The nice thing with like Lock and Key and Nosferatu is like 2 episodes, you know if you're gonna like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, yeah, whatever. You're only like maybe hour and a half worth of time wasted. So
No, that's fair enough. Yeah, there's nothing worse than something dragging you on for half a season and you get invested and then it just goes off the rails because they've already written themselves into a corner. And you're just like, oh God, what are you doing? And then you get annoyed because you've wasted like 4 hours or something of your life,
right.
like investing in this, and then they just don't give you a payoff or they write themselves into a corner and start going around in circles.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't do TV. I will never now jump onto a TV series as it airs or is being released. I'll wait.
See, I don't mind doing that
Because
because it's like if I'm not hooked by the second episode, I'm not even going to bother keeping on. So it's not that big of a deal.
yeah, I've just too much shit to do, to be honest, and sort of have to curate my watching time.
Yeah, no, I feel you there.
You know, it's don't have time to be frivolous.
Yeah. Yeah, which kind of makes me mad about this next one because I have such little time and whew. This was rough.
It's a different tone, but I suppose we'll dive into it, eh?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me laugh with this one because when Calvin was on the episode last, he was talking about how it's not a sequel, but yet on 7th Street's website it says that it's a direct sequel to The Beyond. Or sorry, not The Beyond, Conjuring the Beyond.
Conjuring the
very
Beyond.
different movie. And yeah, this absolutely was not a sequel. This wasn't even in the same ballpark as Conjuring the Beyond.
I think the problem with Calvin is his contract.
Yeah.
Obviously he can't talk about his contract was breaking glass. He's basically told what to make,
Mhm.
which effectively has a job. Which fair enough, fair play to him. But you can
Mhm.
kind of see where these titles even are made by committee. Let's jump
Mhm.
on this bandwagon. Let's latch on to this current thing, and you've kind of got to twist your head and make it work.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah. So what I mean, he works very hard, but he's kind of stuck almost in the corporate mindset. But they're not big enough to be giving him the money to
Mhm.
like enjoy it enough. If that makes sense.
Well, and that's the hard part with any studio system. It's like, unless you can bankroll your own shit, like, someone like Don Coscarelli, you're stuck to a committee, regardless of what size your budget is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fucking rough because, especially like the last few films, like in chronological order, they're progressively getting better and better. And the biggest thing for me, it's always sound. Like, I have bitched about it once, I'll bitch about it a million more times. Sound makes or breaks a movie. I don't give a fuck how bad the story is, the acting, whatever. As long as the sound is good, oh, I can deal with it. This one, man, I don't know what they were up against, but this is a far departure from the last two films that we've watched from him. Like, the sound was atrocious at times.
It's a completely different tone as well. This
It
is
is. It doesn't feel like a Calvin movie.
no, you can see the elements there. Like there's sure the counseling session, Tim Coyle's there, and you see Tim, and you
Mhm,
instantly think of the goofy character. So
mhm.
when they're trying to be like stoic and serious, you're like, this isn't right.
Well, it's like, I can get behind that, like, getting
I know,
some main.
obviously,
I mean,
but
and he
he's played
split
so
his
many
beard.
roles. Yep. Well, his beard should have his own credit. I still say that.
Yeah,
Like
no,
that should be a
like,
character on its own. Tim's beard.
right. I feel
I
like when you're
stand
gonna
by that.
do an up close of someone like that, you gotta keep the beard in frame. Um, so that was a choice. Yeah, it felt so different. Like, I don't know, man. It was a tough one. Like, I mean, granted, I was also fucking tired as shit and got home like 2 hours later than I was supposed to, but yeah, this was a tough one.
Mm. Yeah, I can kind of see, mate. You're still a bit beaten up.
Mhm.
It's amazing how that stuff just you get tired and freaking that's it. It just has a knock on effect till you get a chance to reset.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully in the next decade or so, I'll get some sleep.
That might happen. Who knows? I'm still living in hope.
Yeah, I mean, that's all we can do is hope.
But yeah, so the story is we have David, who's the main character, and this is almost
Mhm,
minimalistic in the character roles. But it's focusing a lot on David, whose father, his daughter Masha, committed suicide, and he found
mhm,
her. But even that, I'm looking at so we're getting the premise. He comes in the door. She's just arrived at the house,
mhm.
and so no time has passed really. It's the same day sort of thing. But she's killed herself in the bathtub, and her corpse looks like it's been there for years.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like the makeup is, I mean, the makeup was good. I dug it,
Yeah,
but
if it was
it's
a
like, how long was she in the fucking bathtub? Because it's like the bruising and shit on her face would make sense. Like, if she had been sitting there for a bit, her head was like
yeah,
this, the
oh,
blood's gonna pool right there, so it
yeah,
makes sense, but it's like, how neglectful is this fucking father? Pays attention enough to her panties, but not the rest of her.
oh, that was odd. But yeah, just the fact that he's already come and gone. I see your car's here, so she's driven up, done the deed. So it's up in the space of a day.
Mhm.
I, I, I think they just went overboard with the sort of makeup, make it look as if she's been there for like a week or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a choice. I liked it. It looked great, but yeah, it
Yeah,
was,
that's completely out of context. If it had been
yeah.
a body that's been left there for ages and discovered and come in, you do the whoa, all that business,
Mhm.
perfect. But for this, no. Um, and then we have the most. I don't know. I think the most disturbing part of this movie are American counseling sessions.
Hmm.
Like, you guys really turn up.
We do not take mental health seriously in this country
It's
at all.
thing is, this is not overacting or what. This is like the way you guys get on.
This is legit group counseling. Like it's yeah, it's on par for how we do that shit.
It's disturbing.
Hmm.
Like, it's just me. To hate to have anything wrong with me in America. I'd have to do
Yeah,
something
man.
like that. That would be. It's like one of them communist struggle sessions. You're committing wrong thing, and everyone else is like, you will share, you will share. It's fucking. I don't understand it. I don't see how it helps people.
Right.
I don't see how you come out of something like that or go to that on a regular basis, come out better and not worse.
You don't. It's replacing the crazies that you go in with a different crazy is essentially what it is.
Yeah.
It's just like the whole NAA type thing where you go in broken, you come out broken, but worshiping whatever god they force on you.
Yeah, that's creepy. You just replace one addiction with another. I've seen
Mhm,
that. That's why they always come out preachy, like
mhm.
evangelists, because
They
this is
are.
their new drug. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is their new drug. They've been given it's basically methadone of a sort.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I just don't I don't get it. You don't uh like if you're going to counseling, that would be a very private thing. you know, One on one. There's a particular scene where
Mhm.
he's like, "You need to get over it." Like no counselor said. I started a counseling course. That's kind of how I have a background in this because of a job I was in. I started actually doing like a basic counseling course, and then I realized 2 months into it that was not for me. This is not what I want to do in any shape or form. I
No,
just
man,
don't have the
it's
personality.
let's say it's a rough one. Like I am essentially an unlicensed therapist because of my job, and how people can legit do that for a living and not take it home is beyond me. Like I'm not one that typically gives a shit about, people or things, but yeah, it's a hard one to not take home with you.
Well, my issue is I'm a natural problem solver.
Mhm.
I'm a okay. Here's problem. Let's find solution. Because that's been my background for
Mhm.
10 years. So I can't switch that part of my brain off. Hence why I butt heads with a lot of people in the workspace because I just want the problem solved and move on.
Mhm.
I hate people that just come in every day that want to moan,
Yeah.
and that's their
Yeah.
whole personality. And it doesn't matter what it's never they're never going to be happy. They're never going to stop moaning because that's the only way they can communicate. So that drives me mental because I'm like, I'm only here to get paid, but while I'm here, I want to be productive and not hanging about because I get bored. I'm
Mhm.
thinking of the 100 other things I could be doing instead. So keep me that I'm just cracking on, but also just have things run smoothly.
Right. Seems like
That's
not a
just
lot to
life
ask
in general. Yeah.
for.
It's like people that can't get their lives together.
Mhm.
I can't get my head around that.
Right.
How can you
Like
not function as a human being? I
that's the
just,
thing. It's like I've been homeless. I've been, I mean, I am a drug addict. Like I have been at the fucking bottom numerous times. It's like it's not that fucking hard to just, tighten your boots, pull your fucking pants up, and get on with it. It's like you just have to force yourself.
yeah. I can't believe as well. I never got David a hanky. Like the snot was coming out of him left, right, and center.
Man, he was so good when it came to that shit. Like I really hope that was all natural, not just like some fucking Visine that off camera he goes because
Yeah.
he was selling the emotion. Like,
Mhm.
I'll give him that. Like that's the thing. Everybody did well in this. It's just I don't know what it could have just been my fucking
Do you
mind
think because
last night,
we're,
but it was just so
but we expect a
different.
certain sort of movie when it
Yeah,
comes
I
to
think
comedy.
that's it.
We expect the goofy. We're expecting a slasher. This is not a
Mhm.
slasher.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're expecting goofy fun, cheesy lines,
Mhm.
just ridiculousness. But this is actually trying to be a serious film.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't know if this had been maybe the first film you'd ever watched from 7th Street, you have a different, relationship
Yeah,
with it.
probably would if this was the
Because
first
even
one.
got
I
the
was
same
thinking,
actors. That's the one that plays Masha. She's the one from Haunting in Ravenwood.
mm-hmm. Well, and a bunch of other ones too.
Yeah,
But
oh yeah,
yeah,
I'll say a few, but you know what I mean? The fact that she's the actress in this from the first movie that we ever watched, it
mm-hmm.
started this whole journey. It's interesting. It's almost like it's come full circle, The point, like, she almost feels like she's inserted in. I know she's been in a couple, but after the first movie, she hasn't been like a major player.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now she's back, and it's a completely different tone. And
Well, I don't know if I'd necessarily say it's a different tone than Ravenwood. It's pretty similar because Ravenwood was also that. Like there wasn't. It didn't feel like they were really leaning into the goofiness of anything. It was a serious, chamber piece that they were doing.
yeah, but a lot of unintentional comedy in it.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't have the like. I didn't giggle anyway. I didn't laugh or go, "Ha, that's stupid." I actually was getting what he was trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense, and I was getting the fact that it was a completely different tone. Where
Yeah.
with the Haunted in Ravenwood, for example, I just felt like, and he said it himself, his sense of humor, he couldn't help himself, while he's filming it. Where this, he seems
Yeah.
to have reined that part back. So I was having a. If this is the first movie I watched from 7th Street, I would have a completely different perception, and then I'd probably look at the other ones and go, "Huh?
Agreed.
How did
Yeah.
this come from those?"
Yeah.
If
If you were to do the double feature of starting with this and then watching like mutant vampires,
yeah,
uh, two vastly different movies. Yeah, I think that'd be an interesting introduction to 7th Street.
yeah. This is a different movie, so I was starting to. Yeah, it's a slow burner as well, which isn't normal.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Like, I didn't know if it was just because I was incredibly stoned
No,
last
no,
night
no. It
or
takes
what, but
about
it's
40
like
minutes. It's a slow
we
burner.
we got I think we got like 33 minutes into it and I had to let the dogs out, so I paused it and both me and my wife were like, "Damn." So it's like, man, we thought we were like an hour into this shit. I was like, huh, I wonder when they're gonna ramp up to the next act. And it's like, oh, okay, we're not even close. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's taking its time.
Yeah.
It's a thoughtful piece, and it's coming through the lens of grief and that.
Hmm.
So you don't know at this point, is it and breaking down, apart from the goth girls, which
Hmm.
they stick out like a sore thumb.
I think that's kind of the point.
Yeah. Um, like for example, considering how militant group counseling sessions are in America, if they're turning up, grief horror, doing the grief horror thing,
Hmm.
surely they would have been kicked out if they've been turning up for multiple sessions.
Well, that depends. Like if it's one of those free ones, probably not. Like as long as they're respectful and shit, like during the sessions, they'll let them keep coming back. Like I did some shortly after my mother had passed, and there were some people that probably didn't need to be there, but it like became, I guess, they're a part of their regular routine, so they just kept up with it for fucking far longer than anybody probably should. So I could see that, uh, but yeah, it's very much like you think the counselor would be like, girls are, why are you here?
Yeah, Ben Rowan. And so I was starting to wonder, did they actually exist in the plane? That's where my head was going with this.
Mm,
Because it's going through the lens of David's grief. So are these imaginary or the ethereal as
mhm.
opposed to actually physically being there? That's where my head was going with this movie. I don't know if you were with me on that.
No, that's interesting. I'll have to look at it that way next time, or at least think about that. 'Cause no, I took it at face value that they were just there.
Because if you notice when he's talking and stuff, it's only until a particular scene later on that they're actually there. But up until that point, I'm thinking, is he actually talking to these girls? Or did he mind associate from the photograph and imagine what they would be like? It's that, that's where my head was going
Mm.
up to a point. Here's another thing I do not understand in general. Dairies.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
that
understand the Dear Dairy thing. I just don't get it.
yeah, that's not something that I ever, ever have been able to do. Um, and, funny enough, in the Mormon culture, that's a huge thing because, of course, they're all about family history and all that shit. So from a young age, that was always something that was really forced on us. Like, you need to do this. You need to keep the story of your life. It's like, I don't even want to live it. Why would I want somebody to read it? It's not that interesting. So yeah, I couldn't imagine actually taking that serious and keeping one.
Yeah, and also you're setting yourself up. If you have a dairy, and it doesn't matter how, especially if you're in a, well, what are Mormon houses like? They put the Catholics to shame, don't they? Their breeding program.
They can. They definitely can.
So you have that, a sibling or somebody is going to want to read it. It's just
Mhm.
because it's there. That's human nature. A parent, somebody
Mhm.
is going to want to read that. You're setting yourself up. And if you're putting and also as well, if you're formulating your thoughts, it doesn't mean that your thought you had today is the thought you're going to have tomorrow about
Mhm.
something. You're usually trying to figure it out.
Right.
And if you verbalize or put it in your head, I mean, you're not actually. It takes a minute to get the train of thought that you're on, out there when you're wrestling with an idea. So the
Oh,
idea
yeah.
of putting all that shit down on the paper and then somebody take it literally,
Yeah, that's
that's not.
honestly, that's why I stopped writing poetry as a child. Like, I was going through some shit 'cause, I had a relatively rough upbringing, and, yeah, I was just trying to articulate my thoughts and just kind of get this shit out of me,
Mhm.
and I ended up getting put pretty much on suicide watch because it's something that I wrote, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess my grandma went through my shit. Alright, not doing this anymore."
And then you lose that
Mhm.
bit of catharsis. That's
Yeah.
it's a dangerous thing. Same as talisman. I have a thing about talisman. People that put their magic into a talisman, like
Mhm.
or first of all, you're taking it out of yourself, but B, you're just setting it up. You're setting up for somebody to steal it, use it against
Mhm.
you. It's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't get dairies. I really don't. It's you're inviting intrusion,
Mhm.
which we see here.
Well, and the way that I look at it, it's like if I don't remember something, then it wasn't important enough to stay in there anyways.
Yeah, enough going on in there without adding extra.
Pretty much. It's like I don't remember a lot of my childhood, and you know what? That's probably a good thing.
Here you not. Uh, have this weird thing. His ex-wife, she turns up once at
Yeah, a couple
Butler's
of
house.
times. She's
Yeah, but she's turned up once at this point.
oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, definitely,
It's
a grump lump, that's for sure.
Yeah, but the fact that she still has a key and comes in and's like packing up the room and stuff, like this is all as if it's recent, but
Mhm.
it seems like it's just split up straight after. But then it's one of the people. If you're split up, be split up. Stop finding excuses to constantly come around to the house
Mhm.
or get back
Well,
together or don't do it. But fucking
yeah,
make up your
exactly,
mind.
and it's like all she's doing is leading homeboy along, and it's like, of course, we all grieve in different ways, so, it might make perfect sense in her mind for the character to do that, but, yeah, it's like, the last scene that we get her in where, she's like, "I do miss you, blah, blah, blah," and then he goes in for, like, physical contact, and she's like, "Ugh." It's like, "Come on, man. Like, you're going through shit, he's going through shit. You understand what he's thinking as you're doing what you're doing. Like, just get yourself out of that situation because you don't wanna be in it."
Yeah, or stop playing games because that's not nice.
Yeah.
That's nasty. Yeah. I didn't see the point of her character, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
She
the
brought
thing is,
nothing
it's
to the
like she
table.
wasn't bad, but it really didn't bring anything to the table. And like the whole, she hates that he drinks a lot, but yet she's trying to get him to get drunk.
I'm going to
And
get you a beer. You're having a beer, and
I
that's it.
gotta say, if they weren't sponsored by that fucking company, I am surprised because usually we get like the pub beer box where
Mm.
they cover pubs, so it just says beer, and then they put their own labels on the cans. But man, he was all about that beer. Funny enough, I actually almost tried that the other night when I was at a concert. I saw that and I thought it was a unicorn, so I was like, "Yeah, obviously I want to drink it." Then I realized it was just a horse, and I was like, "Ah, never mind."
Never tried it. No. Uh, they'll have this weird thing where he starts getting spasms.
Mhm.
Like he picks up something, he starts getting a spasm in his left hand, and I don't know. I don't think we really got that explored. There's a bit towards the end where it becomes like a thread or something, but
Mhm.
I'm having trouble. Is he being visited by the other world? Has he always had psychic powers? Or is this grief that he's filling in the blanks? I'm not fully getting what's going on.
See, the way I saw it was the grief is what opened him up to the other side, and that's why he can essentially feel his daughter, between the grief and the guilt of him being just a shitty person. Like, that's what's made him sensitive to, that shit going on.
Mhm.
Plus, I mean, that's the theory is that when someone dies traumatically or there was a lot of energy one way or the other, whether it's extreme happiness or extreme, sorrow, supposedly that's what can leave a spirit there. So,
Mhm.
like, I believed it. I thought it was a weird tell, but because we could just get the nightmares, which we had, but
They were done. I have to say though, the nightmares were done well. I like that.
mhm. Especially because it gets to a point where fuck, where you don't know if he's in a dream, because he doesn't know.
Mhm.
So I dug that.
Yeah, and that was pure character acting.
Mhm.
The guy that plays David, that's I have to say, I wasn't too sure in the opening scene, but as it went along in the movie, I really enjoying his performance.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, the dream sequences, the me getting haunted through the dreams, and all of a sudden he's waking up on the couch, or he's in work, or he's something. He's just like, when did I fall asleep? And he brings
Mhm.
that up. Uh
Yeah, man, been there.
yeah, I've done that. I just sit on the sofa and like, oh, look at YouTube, and the next thing I know, I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
what the hell? The light's gone down and stuff, and it's got dark. I'm like, how did that happen?
Right.
And then I'm looking, going, oh shit, am I meant to be online? Have I missed something? Chris had to wake me up once for one of our reviews.
Oh, that's
He
funny.
had to ring me because I did exactly that. Oh, I've got 45 minutes or something before we start. I'll just watch this 20-minute video, then I'll go and get set up. Ring me. I'm like, shit.
Oh, that's funny.
I did not see, when you don't see it coming, it's not like you're nestling down and going, oh, I'll
Mhm.
have a wee do. You just sitting upright straight. I'll just watch this, and you just comes out of nowhere. Been there.
That's me almost every night with my 30 minutes of reading. It's always like, "All right, I've been waiting for this all fucking day. Let's do this." And I'm sitting up nice and straight, trying to keep some good posture so I can stay awake. And then I get like a couple pages in. Next thing I know, I'm waking up because I'm smacking myself in the face with the book. I was like, how the fuck did I end up laying down?
So I can absolutely 100% identify with this.
Yeah.
Apart
Yeah,
from the
definitely.
spur thing, getting haunted, but I can 100% identify not knowing when you're awake or asleep sometimes if you're
Mhm.
going at it because, yeah, I think maybe you should have stuck with us the whole way through. I think the psychic bit threw me off a bit. The picking up the just stick with the dreams. That was a good plot device, and it was done really well. The
Well, and
touching the
who's to
objects
say
things
that's not
did
also
not.
like the psychic thing? So Like it still fits. At least I think so.
Yeah. But then and he goes back to the counselling again. I think it's one of the last counselling sessions. And the guy playing the counselor, what was the line? You need to get over this. You need to
Yeah.
just pick yourself up and get on. Like,
Yeah, and
hold on
it's
a
like
minute.
presumably this is pretty goddamn close to right after it happened.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but if somebody told me to get over any sort of grief that I had, I would punch them in their fucking face. Period. Like, fuck that.
And secondly, that's not the whole point. You don't tell the patient. I remember that much. You don't tell. You're not actually telling them. You're trying to open up dialogue so they figure it out themselves. That's
Mhm.
kind of the whole point of it.
Yeah.
And let the person, come to the conclusion. That's kind of supposed to be the magic of, counseling.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
when he's been like dismissive, and also, is this not his job? So repeat clients, is that not kind of the point?
Right?
Don't you darken these doors again. How dare you need help? It was just it was a strange bit of dialogue to have,
Mhm.
considering the setting.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a choice.
Now, if I was like 15 or like 20 and a bunch of golf girls went, we're going to come over to your house, I'd have been like, yippee. However, being older and wiser, that's only going to lead to drama and you don't need that in your life.
Hot take. I mean, I'm
That's
38, and if I was single and I would know that something bad is gonna happen, it'd still happen.
no, I suppose maybe I've just passed through. Give it another decade, and you might think differently because danger, danger,
Oh,
danger,
no, it would I
danger.
would be from experience, I would know nothing good is coming from this. It still
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, nah. That was like, oh, we'll come on over. We know where you live. Yeah, big bolts.
Mhm.
No.
And it'd be like a cartoon as soon as you're done doing all that shit, then you turn around and they're just standing there
Oh, the
staring at you.
hand you one of the boards to put up.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. But also they add to the ridiculousness of this. Michelle turns up again. It's freezing cold, and she's
Mhm.
just like in a shirt, as if
Yeah.
she's suddenly surprised that when she and where did she live next door to him or something?
Fucking something. Just
Like,
randomly shows up and looks like she walked.
yeah,
I just love how she gets all fucking pissy with him, like, "You're not reaching out to her friends anymore, are you?" And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with that? It's like being in a case like that, like, I lost a friend a few years back, and after he passed, like, his grandma kept in contact with all of us, like, that's just how everybody kinda copes with it. I was like, "There's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. That's how you grieve as a community and you heal as a community. Like, that's fucking okay."
yeah. But once again, we're getting no context as
Mhm.
to what's happened. I feel like there's something missing from this. Should we have seen a bit of the aftermath after him finding her? It's like they've skipped forward an amount of time. We don't know how. We know it's not more than a year. We know it's
Yeah.
a short time, but then has a lot went on
Yeah,
that
that
we're
that
not.
I was gonna say that's about the only thing I could really see sort of needing to be explained, like, what is the time difference between when that happened and where we are now? Because I feel like that would make certain things make a lot more sense if we knew.
Mhm. Yeah, because you're kind of going, what was he doing? Was he like calling to their house or ringing them up or what?
Mhm.
What was it? But yeah, she's just randomly lashing out and she's torturing him.
Yeah.
Like he would actually be better if he wasn't in her life whatsoever. Like she
Mhm.
is. her character's just nothing but toxic.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily know if it's her that is toxic or just the scenario. Like he wants something that she can't give him, and she knows that, but she's still around. That's a tricky one.
Hmm. Yeah, I just like I said, I just don't. Her character confused me more than give me any sort of exposition or help with the plot.
Hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, the dream sequence or the I don't know whether it was a dream sequence or like an ethereal realm that he was brought into. But yeah, finally, what are we in? Like nearly an hour, and this is the first time we get some boobies.
Right. It was kind of surprising. I was like, I don't think it's gonna happen. Other than
I
like
honestly thought it wasn't
in
going to happen at all.
the suicide scene.
Yeah, but that
Um,
doesn't count. It was all makeup and stuff, so it wasn't
yeah.
really. Yeah,
But
that's
yeah, no, I did love that. It felt very Giallo-esque. I mean, especially with the lighting like that goes without saying. But yeah, where he's at his house and then he turns around and all of a sudden there's this big open area. And it's like, oh, this is kind of cool. Is this real? Is this not real? Is this somewhere in between? I dig it.
I have to say, this is one of the better ritual scenes I've seen in any movie.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
something always any sort of witchcraft movie or magic movie. They'll always do the ritual scenes are absolutely atrocious,
Hmm.
and you don't. I'd even say even the Devil Rides Out, which I'm going to get to at some point. Um, the ritual scenes are not fantastic. They can't seem to get an idea of a magical ritual
Hmm.
taking place. Even the craft wasn't really a ritual as such. There's a lot of cutscenes.
Yeah.
They tried calling the god, and it was more the aftermath. But the actual ritual itself didn't. I didn't believe it
Hmm.
that something magic was going on. This I was on board with.
Hmm.
I felt the intensity, the words even, because that's usually where it gets really clunky when they try to uh, ritualize words. Usually, a lot of films mess it up. It just sounds hammy as hell. But I was actually on
Yeah.
board with this and I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah. No, it seemed like a legit ritual, definitely.
Hmm. And something, you felt like something had been conjured.
Hmm.
That's credit where credit's due. Like that, really. I was on board with this.
Hmm.
And then we go back to him dreaming again. After it, and it seems to ramp up a bit, but still very, very slow burnery.
Hmm.
You would think after the ritual took place, this is the point where the movie would just pick up pace.
Yeah, you'd
But
think, okay, we're in the final act. It's just going to get crazy now.
yeah, but no, it takes its time getting towards the end.
Hmm.
Once again, Michelle turns up now in dreams, but what is her purpose?
Yeah, I still don't understand that last dream where the daughter whispers into her ear and then she just starts making noises. It's like, I don't quite understand where that was going, but okay.
Yeah, you'd think this is the point where things are revealed,
Hmm.
not getting more confusing. Because Masha was starting to speak to him at this point,
Hmm.
and they start, they're doing the thing of the ghost can't speak through the realm, but eventually finds a way to do it and communicate and to get in tune. I felt like we were getting to that point, and the ritual was going to really open it up. But then it went back to
Hmm.
this, and I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
But yeah, he decides he's going to go to the counseling place to cast the ritual.
I thought he
That
was at this. Yeah, I couldn't tell if that was at his school or if that was the
wherever
counseling place.
wherever that was being held, that building.
Hmm.
No, that's where he decided to go to instead of at his house, which would actually have more of a connection to Masha's spirit, would it not?
Yeah.
This is where he decides he's going to invoke her to bring her back.
Yeah.
Maybe they just needed the space. The plot needed to happen because they needed space to do stuff.
Yeah.
The house set wasn't big enough. But I don't know. This is hot topic magic happening though. Fucking tea
Yeah,
lights.
100%.
Fucking tea lights. What are you doing, man? Candles aren't that expensive, really. In fact, some of them tea lights, if you buy a bag of those, is more expensive than like 4 candles.
Right. But if you get a giant bag, you can take as many takes as you need to.
I just I laughed. I don't know if it was meant to or not, but I'm just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Even Walmart do them cheap, like proper candles. Sure, they have a whole section.
Yeah,
Remember those
that
little
is true.
lantern things I used to have?
Hmm.
Yeah, you know me, the black candles. Like I could get them out of Walmart, flipping all for less than $10.
Yeah.
Pretty sure Dollar Tree do them as well.
Yeah, but now it's like $1.25, so
Oh dear, right. But at least you're not having a tea light in your production. It could have even taken out of the foil. If he had done it in like a little bowl and taken out of the foil, you know, and had it floating,
Mhm.
I would be on board. But just that was tragic.
Yeah.
The steam effect when Masha appears out, like he conjures her inside the building and she appears outside because something's happening here. I don't know. I think we needed instead of the scenes with Michelle, if they had something about way lines and the goth chicks explaining like here's a path, they'll if you do it in
Mhm.
this area, an old map of the place or something. Bit of dialogue. I might have been on board why he went where he went to cast the spell. But
Yeah.
then Masha appears outside in the same clothes that she's been in, the whole time. The steam effect was quite good. I like that.
Mhm.
She had the steam rising off her.
Yeah, I mean, it looked cool as shit.
That was I was really impressed with that. And I don't know whether he used dry ice. I think it might have been dry ice. It didn't feel like CGI.
No, I mean, it definitely wasn't. Like, that was practical coming off of her.
Yeah, I like that. I have to say, it's been so long, especially when you use the CGI shite all the time and looking
Mhm.
cheesy as hell. When you actually see something that's physical, you're kind of like, oh wow.
Yeah, no, it was pretty dope.
But he wears skinny fit clothing, so he does. Like you could see his tiny, and you can see him standing beside her and their body frames,
Mhm.
and he has this magic shirt that he takes off and hands to her, and it just grows twice in size. I just thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And just is it just because I'm looking for this sort of stuff now that I'm tuned into it?
I mean, maybe. Like, that's the great thing. I don't got a whole lot going on up here, so it's very easy for me to turn my brain off and just accept things. At least for the most part.
Maybe it's a game I'm playing myself because I'm in review mode, but these are the sort of things I'm looking for.
Mhm.
Do they match up? I don't really, um, a lot of things I can forgive, but things like that annoy me.
Mhm.
It's like that's not the same size shirt. That's a completely different one. What the hell? And what was the point of that scene? So we could give her the pants.
I guess.
That
Yeah, I
was
don't know. That whole the very final last bit, a lot of it I'm still very confused. Like, he conjures her back, but she's not back, but she's back, and then he gets pregnant, and then they cut him open, and then she comes out. And it's like, but wasn't she already back?
but it wasn't her. She got replaced.
Yeah, I was
So it was like a
I was
demon
a
or
little
something came
confused with
back to
all that
torture him.
shit.
I didn't get the whole pedo thing.
Oh, I mean, that uh, that made sense right at the fucking beginning as he's sitting there with the pair of panties in his fucking hand.
Yeah, but the panties thing didn't get me. I was like, what's this about? Fucking, I think as well. because it's a completely different tone, I wasn't, I'm expecting the comedy or something.
Mhm.
I'm not getting what the tone of this movie. It's not a 7th Street movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a departure from,
Yeah.
stuff we've had in the past.
And because of the way some of that stuff was done, like, he's not acting like a creepy old man, if that makes sense.
The thing is, he was. Like, yeah,
Maybe you have more experience than me.
being around that kinda shit, it's not an overt thing. Like, the smart ones, it's not an overt thing.
Evening, buddy.
So
Yeah, but he's in his private moments. I'm trying to think. Like the black phone, was he the grabber in his private moments? He's a twisted fuck,
mhm.
and the persona he puts on for others. I'm trying to think other movies where it's done. You see the persona they put on outside, and then when they're in on their private moments, you get that glimpse of it. This
Mhm.
I wasn't, unless he was in extreme denial.
See, I don't know, like, it
And then the whole thing with Michelle, like because her character is so ham-fisted and confusing, if he had a called round to her house and she was absolutely revulsed by him, but also if she's like even the opening scene, the fact that she's driving to the house and it's all as if everything's normal, you know what I mean? I got none of the vibe. It felt like something sort of hammered in there.
So I don't know. Like I got that from the beginning. It just like it was like sort of a yeah, no, that makes sense because like his character the whole time is I'm a bad father. I was a terrible father. And it's everybody else around him that's trying to tell him, "No, you were a great father." But he was the only one aside from his daughter that knew the truth of his relationship with his daughter. So like it just I don't know. I wasn't surprised. Like, it wasn't a huge
Mm,
reveal at the end when it came out that he fucking raped and molested her.
maybe it's my innocent mind.
Yeah, it must be.
But you know me, I'm just, I don't know. It just, like I said, I was seeing it through guilt, as in, why did she do this? I have no
Mm,
answer. And then the cult, are getting involved with a cult. That's the direction it was pointing me.
mm,
That they twisted her or did something. The idea of him conjuring something back instead of his daughter, well, that was kind of the whole trailer, etc.
yeah.
And that was the whole thing I was getting set up for.
Mhm.
For it to be that and then it being like a revenge thing, I don't know, I just felt the delivery. I could have went that way, I could have went another way. I was more expecting it to go the other way, just from what I was getting from the movie.
Yeah.
That it was a cult, said she had to kill herself to be free and there was to bring something, but she can come back reborn or something or better. Like teenage angst sort of thing,
Yeah.
getting manipulated. But yeah. And it's the last bit. This is where it goes silly. Because the people in the robes turn up and then we get Sloth from the Goonies just randomly
Yeah,
appear.
I wasn't expecting that.
That was like,
Definitely was not expecting that.
why?
It's like we got them throughout the entire movie, just off in the background. But yeah, with the reveal, it's like probably just could have kept the hood on.
Yeah,
It's
that
it's
didn't.
it's much scarier when it's mysterious, not hey you guys.
Yeah, that didn't. That once again, that was me going. I
Yeah.
lost attention. So once that reveal happened, any tension or build up was gone. Because I'm just all right. We're back to goofy slasher sort of thing. Okay,
Mhm.
and I kind of meandered through the last act. How to say though, it was a cool effect of her basically being birthed out of him.
Mhm.
Uh, Funny enough, when we were playing Morkborg, our first session, that's how our characters came in. We were a necromancer brought us back from the death through ritual sacrifices. We were tied up the the chamber. That's how we. And the whole part of the first game was actually to figure a way out to get out of the body. It was lovely, dark and twisted. So I laughed at that because I just remember playing playing the game, which is still on the channel, folks. If you want to check it out, we're having so much fun with that. It's like proper dark. But yeah, then we get the whole right. She's out, so obviously she's reached out to these girls. She's decided that actually I don't know what she's decided. That's what I'm
Yeah.
confused about.
Yeah, it's like
It seems a bit of a convoluted mess to get revenge on somebody when she could do it while alive.
yeah, especially with what's going on. It's like she could just go to the police and have him fucking essentially killed in prison.
Or just
But whatever.
if she happens to have access to the whole cult with robes and stuff, well, guess what? Just take him the weekend. Daddy, you want to reconnect and take him the weekend and have him bringing, used as the local sacrifice that evening.
Right.
This is where it's kind of, it seems overly complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Where the original premise, which it was all leading, that she's got involved in a cult and, basically led down a dark, it was too much for her. And then she's trying to scream for help because he doesn't know what's happened to her.
Mm-hmm.
That was all fine, but then it just completely turns on its head. And we didn't have enough plot there to get us on board with it. I
Yeah.
don't think anyway. But
I mean,
it
that
looked
was it.
good. I have to say, it was a good looking movie.
Yeah, it looked great. Like I said, the sound at parts, like specifically like in the hallway scenes, like it was rough as fuck. But yeah, it wasn't the best, wasn't the worst.
No, wasn't meeting vampires.
Yeah.
But there you go. That was that. That was fun to always catch up anyway. And,
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's been slow. It's been last 2 weeks. It's been really slow with news, etc. Just everything's ground to a halt.
Mm-hmm.
You get little times, I guess, and then I've even been struggling for the daily news articles because bugger all happening.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the hard part about this time of year is pretty much like the studio system shuts down from Halloween to the first of the year. So it's about
But
how
in
it goes.
our sort of sphere, this is should be the busiest time, the week before Halloween. There should be lots of stuff getting dropped because this is the hype train. This is the time to hype movies up, even if they're not coming out straight away.
Yeah.
And games and articles and everything else. But this year just seems to have all fallen off a cliff.
Mm-hmm. It's like really the only thing that happened was Terrifier 3. That got hyped the fuck up and killed it. That's about it.
Well, considering the fact a clown movie came out the week before at 10 times the budget and tagged, and then Terrifier 3 came out.
Yeah. Yeah, I love just how it's done so much better than everything else out right now.
Yeah,
It's so goddamn funny. I mean, it's just another example of why the redheaded stepchild of the industry is always the moneymaker.
And
Yeah, I loved the first Joker. This one, I
never even bothered.
I want to see it, but probably not in theaters.
No.
It's probably going to be something as soon as I can stream it and use my Amazon points to rent it for free. Yeah, I'll that's when I'll watch it.
Yeah, I'm not remotely excited. I've heard enough, and
Yeah.
I can't stand Gaga. I can't stand her.
See, that's the thing. Like, that was like one of the biggest draws because I do like her. Like, I think she's a pretty goddamn good actor. But yeah, it's just everything I've heard. It's like they're reneging on all the shit they came up with the first movie. I was like, why? Why?
They didn't like the fact that I don't know. I'm not even gonna try and figure out their brains. Just don't sniff Hollywood farts. Don't get in the Hollywood fart chamber and sniff them because it fucks your brain up.
Yeah.
Star Wars is the horror movie.
Yeah.
It is the horror movie. It doesn't no nothing else needed.
Fuck, man. You know, I'd still say we need Flanagan doing either Death Troopers or Red Harvest or any of the Mall books. I think that'd be fantastic.
When you get a complete change at Lucasfilm, maybe, but not now. Not for put Flanagan on ice. Sure, he still has to do the Dark Tower series, and they're still
Oh my
only
God.
storyboarding it. They're not even storyboarding yet. They're not even at that point.
He's been writing it.
No, he's been off and on, but he's been giving interviews, isn't he? Just like it's going to happen. You know, we're still in production. You know, once you use that in production mode, it's like, oh, okay. Or sorry, in development. In development.
I was
Sorry.
going to say production. That's a different.
No,
fucking
that's
story.
different. Sorry, right, that's me not talking properly.
Well, and then to have
development.
Stephen King talk about this last weekend, how he's returned to Midworld and the territories, and it's like, you son of a bitch, don't do that. My dick can only get so hard. Like, yeah, that's. I fucking hope we get another one.
I think 2026 is going to be the year. I don't think we're going to have a good 2025.
No, we're not, because again, we're just now starting to get the repercussions of the writer strike and the SAG strike and all that stuff. So pretty much the only thing we're getting is stuff that got the passes from SAG, which, you know, again, it's a whole stupid thing to get into, but yeah, it's gonna be a very light coming year.
Yeah, so we'll make our own entertainment. Plenty of stuff going on in all our channels anyway, so make sure you check them out. But there you go, that's it for another month, and just leaves us to say until next time, keep updated with the channel, do the type of clicky things, and remember to keep it creepy,
Keep it horrific.